Thanks again for tuning into Moonshine Gaming. We're going to be doing another pickup video. This is all stuff I grabbed from local pawn shops and thrift stores. I'm located in Ontario, Canada, and we just got put back into lockdown about a week ago. So yeah, this is all stuff that I grabbed just before we got put back into lockdown. So let's get into it. Picked up one PS3 game. We got WWE 2K14. It is complete. If you're a wrestling fan or into reselling, wrestling games always seem to be undervalued. I always find them for $5 or less in pawn shops and thrift stores. So keep your eye out for wrestling games. Next up, we got Castlevania Curse of Darkness. It's the only original Xbox game I picked up. Picked this up for, I think it was $4 or $5 at a thrift store. This is kind of an uncommon Wii game, FIFA 15 Legacy Edition. I just have the cover art and disc with a crappy black case. I have a couple of Wii cases, I can sub that out. But I don't see this very often. It's not worth too much, only around $15 or $20 Canadian, but it is pretty uncommon, I would say. Another Wii game, Just Dance 2017, and this is also another valuable Wii game that not a lot of people know about. Just Dance 17. It's worth around $30 Canadian. Next up, we got All Pro Football 2K8, no manual. This game is worth kind of decent money too. It doesn't sell for much in Canada, only 15 or 20, but in the States, for some reason, it's worth a lot more. It sells for 30 or 40. Next up, we got Blur. This is actually brand new sealed, and this is a really fun game. If you've never heard of it or played it, it's kind of like if you were to combine Mario Kart and Need for Speed. So it has those the power up aspects of Mario Kart, but it does have graphics similar to Need for Speed. So yeah, it's quite a fun little racer. Another wrestling game, WWE 2K14 for Xbox 360, complete. Now this isn't really an uncommon game, NHL 15, but I did need it. Not for my collection, but I have all of the other NHL games except for NHL 15 for the 360, and I've been looking for this so I can bundle this with the rest of them, and I can sell all of the NHL games for 360 as a lot. Next up, we got a James Bond game. From Russia with Love, 007 for the GameCube. It is complete. The manual's hiding behind here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. This one's worth like $25, $30. This one I picked up for my personal collection, SX Superstar. It's not worth a ton, but I didn't have it in my collection, and it was only like $4 or $5. It is complete. The manual's back behind that paperwork. So always happy to add a GameCube game to the collection. This one is also going into my collection. Kind of uncommon PS2 game, Beatdown Fists of Vengeance. I think it's kind of similar to the Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York games. But yeah, this is complete and one-on-one fighter. Happy to add this to the collection. Another uncommon PS2 game, The Thing. Complete, based around the movie, the John Carpenter movie. It's worth around $30. Next up, another awesome PS2 game, Katamari Damacy. It is complete. They did recently redo this for the Switch, and if you've never played this game, I'll try and explain it to you quickly. You start as this ball, and you roll around a landscape, and every time you roll over something, it will stick to you, so your ball's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you roll over all these things. At first you're just rolling over like baseballs and small things, but then by the end of it you're rolling over like skyscrapers and Ferris wheels. It's pretty funny. Pretty good game. Next up we got Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, complete for the PS2. Another kind of kart racer, kind of similar to Mario Kart. Next up we got Guitar Hero 5 for the PS2. Complete. This is one of the more expensive Guitar Hero games for the PS2. Sells for, I think, $20 to $30 Canadian. And these are my two favorite PS2 pickups. We got Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 and 2, both complete. Now, 2 is the more expensive of the two of these. The price has just skyrocketed recently. I think it's over $70 or $80 now, but yeah, really happy to find these two. Now we're going to get into some PS1 games. Now these were all at one thrift store. They were all priced at, I can't remember if it's $5.99 or $6.99 each, but I feel like somebody just donated their whole collection because all the discs are in like pristine condition. And there are some pretty good titles that I found. So start off with Crash Bandicoot Complete. It's got the green label, but this is the most expensive of all the Crashes on PS1. I think it sells for around $40. Another good one, Medieval 2. I just started playing the Medieval 1 remake for PS4, and it's pretty awesome. This is also an expensive PS1 game. I think it sells for around $70 or $80. Another Crash Bandicoot Warped Collector's Edition, complete. This one isn't complete, it's missing the manual, but Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I have fond memories playing this on the computer when I was younger. I used to love this game. Next up, we got debatably the best Twisted Metal. You can't see what it is, but it's Twisted Metal 2, disc only. That's a fun one. Next up, Tomb Raider 3, complete. And we got Batman Gotham City Racer. I guess it's just a Batman racing game. I haven't heard much about this one. There were actually a few PS1 games in here that I didn't know much about. Spider-Man 2. I have the first one, so really happy to add this one into the collection. This one I also hadn't heard of or knew much about. Lego Rock Raiders. I have no idea what it is. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of it or played it, because I'm interested to know. Maybe I'll pop it in and give it a try. Next up, we got Tomb Raider 1. I was really surprised I didn't actually own this already, so happy to add this one into the collection. This is probably the best PS1 game that I found at that store. Dino Crisis 2. I think this is worth over $100. I know it's worth pretty decent money, but really happy to add this. The manual's kind of messed up. The front page is ripping off, but I really can't complain because I've been looking for this game for a while, so really happy to add that. Next up, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, green label. Happy to add that one to the collection. I also just started playing Oddworld Soulstorm on the PS5, which is actually a free download right now if you have PSN. So if you have PSN, go and download it. It's free. It's pretty good. Next up, we got the Die Hard Trilogy, green label. I was surprised this wasn't worth more. I thought it would be worth a little bit more than, I think $20 is what I looked it up at. This one I also didn't know too much about. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Scooby-Doo games always seem to hold their value. I think all the PS2 and GameCube ones are worth decent, over $20 each. Another one I didn't know much about, Looney Tunes Sheep Raider. I do like that cover art though, it's kind of cool. And this is worth over $30 or $40. This one I'm happy to add to the collection. Evil Dead, Hail to the King. This one looks cool. Complete. And then my favorite game that I found in this pickup video that I'm able to add to my collection, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I almost had a heart attack when I saw this in that thrift store. And this, now being added to my collection, will complete my Resident Evil set. I had every other Resident Evil except for this one, and I was waiting to find it, and I finally found it, so I'm so happy to add that one. We also got a couple strategy guides. I think these were probably owned by the same person who donated these PS1 games, because a lot of them correspond with the games, and they were all at that same thrift store. So we got Ratchet and Clank. I think that's the only one that didn't have the game at the thrift store. Next up, we got Medieval 2. I don't know too much about the prices of strategy guides, but I feel like all these ones are pretty good ones. Destroy All Humans. The Thing, Evil Dead, Hail to the King, and then we got the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis strategy guide to go along the game. I don't know if I'm going to keep this or not yet, but that's cool to find in the wild, is those games and those strategy guides. All right, last up, this was a pretty good find from a local pawn shop. We got Streets of Rage 3 for the Sega Genesis, and it is fully complete in pristine condition. It's still got the tab and the cartridge and manual. All the inserts are all in fantastic condition. The price of this is skyrocketed. It's over $200 now, I think. I paid $60 for this, so I think that was a pretty good deal. And that's everything. Stay tuned and see you next time.